The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekly Noyantis Usergroup webinar. Today is Monday the 13th of May 2019. Myself and John are here as your presenters. I know John's got a couple of questions, so he's a presenter and a questionee at the same time. So there was no webinar last week because of public holiday here in the UK. But we are back here as normal now. Just waiting for a particular project to finish compiling, and that's just done. That's great. So as always, if anyone's got any questions or queries or ideas or issues, then feel free to raise your hand, and we'll get them going. I know to start with, John's already sent us a question, hence what I mentioned earlier. And John, do you want to? I'll think of how we can come out with the example. But do you want to come up with the query that you've got on docking panes?
Docking panes. Yes, let's do docking panes.
Okay. Let me. Don't know anyone ever uses that. Just wait 1 second.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So yes, you've got an issue with docking pane or a question.
Yeah, well, it's an issue, I guess. So I'm working on dashboards, and so I've got one procedure that I'm starting multiple times that will host different charts.
Yep.
Using the Chart Pro OCX, right?
Yep.
Okay, so and within the container, within the one procedure, it'll have maybe 5 charts. And you can choose which chart you want to put in there.
Okay.
But and the charts is one procedure as well that's started multiple times. So if you've got 5 charts, it's started 5 times. And each one is docked. The docks are created on the fly.
Okay.
Right. And then it's saved. We save the positions of everything. But the problem is that when I launch it, I launch the procedure and it starts 5 other procedures, 5 of the same procedure, but they're coming into the wrong pane. They're never reliably coming into the correct pane. So that's what the issue was.
Right. Okay. So now I know we've quickly spoke on this in the past, and we come up with an idea. So let's just back to this. And just trying to think how we can. We'll find a way. We'll find a way of doing this.
Yeah, I guess we talked about how it's having trouble identifying which procedure goes into which.
So we'll cover what we've got just from a point of view of the recording and for knowledge for users, of course. And then we'll have a look at see if we can do a little enhancement. That's the idea. Oh, hopefully the comms is all okay and you can hear me and so on. I'm actually over in France at the moment. I'm not in the UK.
Oh.
So so hopefully it should be fine. I'm actually sat in my office upstairs in France, which is absolutely great, except it's a very windy day today. But apart from that, it's lovely.
Oh, nice.
So yes, definitely very good. Okay, so let's just run this. Well, let's see if we can try and recreate the issue and do the fix. I think the recreation should be relatively easy. Although I think the issue you're getting is to do with timings. So one of the times, let's say you've got 5 procedures and 5 panes, and perfectly they would be if one went into 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, so on and so forth. Right. But what actually happens behind the scenes, because they're all calling the same procedure, each one of those 5 panes are declared, the 5 panes know what content they are expecting, so they're waiting for a piece of content which will be a clarion window, a docked window. So along the lines of here. This opens up 2 clarion windows. One goes to the top, one goes to the bottom. Now that's always going to work because they are different procedure names. So what actually happens is that the pane gets declared. So let's have a quick look at the definition of that actually, so we can see it in action. And this is, if anyone's done any of our training and so on and so forth, you will be using docking panes to dock your content and so on. The thing I was just compiling then actually, just to just create the actual database. 1 more second. Okay. So anybody who wants to do that type of interface, and in a way you are actually doing that for your dashboard. So I've got the traditional, there's a window, dummy window behind this. That would be your dashboard window, if you will. And then you've just got various panes. I've got various panes, but I only ever show 2 at a time. The navigation and then one part of a collection. The collection part is kind of irrelevant, but it's where people want to basically get this, that clarion procedure, that's a browse procedure, but that's running in a pane. So that's one for anybody who's not familiar with docking panes, which I think, let's have a quick look at the users here. But then again, we've got recordings, but yeah, I think we're all more or less familiar with them and so on. But it's good to get an understanding of how they're working. So back to that. Clarion controls, no. Clarion child windows. So on here, we're going to have our docking pane. We've got a couple of panes. I think we've got 3 actually. You've got a theme and a close button. So we just run this. It's 4. Back to that example, and we've got 4 panes. 1 for the browse procedure, 1 for a image window, 1 for the basically a clarion control, which is just a straightforward drop down, and 1 for another clarion control, the close button. Okay, onto there, 2 panes which we're interested in is the browse and the image. So we've got that pane defined. We said we're going to open a clarion window, and it's going to open one called window image, and the other one will be something like window browse as a guess. Window browse, yeah. Okay. So what you've got, the difference you've got there is you are calling the same procedure several times over. Okay. So what's happened here so far is there's 4 panes defined. Each one's got what content they're waiting for. That one is waiting, and it's told to be, it's not lazy open or anything, but in my app I do use lazy open, which means don't start the procedure until it's needed. But it's waiting explicitly behind the scenes for a window called window underscore image. When that opens up, it queries the global window manager class, the docking pane window manager class that is. It queries that, says I've opened, do you require me to be docked? Passes in its name, of course, window image, and yes, it responds, yes, we do need it, so on and so forth. And what happens, sorry, let's let me run it again. So we've got two defined. That opens, it tells the window manager class that docking pane, it opens itself, it's got the handle, the docking pane is informed of it, and it says, okay, you need to grab the handle of that window, and now it is docked. Likewise with this one. Now, I've had in one of my applications, I think I mentioned it, and again, it's worth it from a training point of view for people who are attending here today and watching on the recordings. In one of the applications which we have, we had it so, let's just open this. We had it so one of the browsers, i.e. this browse, looks like a browse customers. That browse customers, we had it so that that could actually be called from various different parent windows, if you will. So what we meant by that is, imagine you had a list of appointments, and you could say, okay, if I open and I go into a centre which is customer or client driven, so the main driving force of that particular centre, this browse, if you will, is a list of clients, and from there I could open up what appointments we've got for the particular client. So it would open up a browse appointments. Want it to be docked, of course, so it would know, yes, got to open up browse appointments, but I want you to come onto my thread, because there could be another thread, i.e. you could be looking at it from because it's all to do with treatments and so on, a treatment point of view, and you want to look at the browse appointments, but the ones what are related to a treatment and not related to a patient, so what, or a client. So what would happen there is you would call the same one, same procedure, but you would want it to go to a different thread. Okay, now that's not what you're after, but it is going to be part of the answer, if that makes sense. Probably lost a lot of people now. So what we would do is, for this scenario I've just said there, is the equivalent of window underscore browse being called from two different threads. Both of them require it to be docked, but only the user is in charge of which thread is actually going to be active. They might be in the client-centric center, or they might be in the course of treatment-centric center. And depending on which one they've clicked in order, we need it to go to that particular center, if you will, that particular thread. So if we said clients are on thread 1, treatments are on thread 2, we go to treatments first off, we click to have a look at the appointments for a related treatment, that are related to a treatment, and we would want that to go to thread 2 first, not thread 1. So how we would control it there is, on the docking pane content management, you can pass in an optional parent thread number. Now if that's not set, it will just look in the docking pane window manager class. Remember, there's going to be two entries in there, one for the patient center, which is, let's say, thread 1. I know the main application frame would normally be thread 1 and so on and so forth, but you get the idea. One would be on thread 1, and the treatment would be on thread 2. We could pass in to this procedure parameter saying what the parent thread number is, and this we will put a filter in there, so we could say, okay, we want you to go on to thread 2, or in reality it would be along the lines of, this would receive a parameter of thread number, and then you would put the parameter into there. That would ensure that the correct thread, this would open on the correct thread. That makes sense. So, is there any questions on that?
Nope.
We've just scared everybody. But the reason, that sounds all very complicated and so on and so forth, but as I say, let's not got it in here, but let's just see if we can see a particular example along the lines of, it's not in this system, it's in a different system. But yeah, I'm going to a patient list here. Now, it could be, if I wanted to have a pane at the bottom there to say the appointments, then I would want another browse appointments to be opened, but I would want it to be associated with this. So I know that when it opens, the parameter that I've passed to it is related to this particular patient. But I could also have appointments for my staff members. So I could be on staff members here, completely different thread. I could have a browse at the bottom, so another pane. So I'm looking at the staff members, and I want to know the appointments related to a staff member. I would call the same browse appointments, but with different parameters, of course. So one would be you're coming from the patient type list, one would be from the staff list, but it's still one nice browse procedure, started twice with different filter criteria. One's going to be related to the patient, one's going to be related to the client. So that all that works. The only thing I would want to do is, if I came into the system, didn't go to my patient list, came to the staff list, I'd want to make sure that was waiting for that this received the appointment list, if you will, the browse opening into this pane here, even though that pane would have been defined first in the window manager. So that's how you would do it from a thread point of view. So you can filter to say, okay, make sure you open up. Yes, you're looking for somebody who's waiting for one called window_browse, but they also want to be on a particular thread, the parent thread, and that will ensure that it goes to the correct parent thread. So we've gone a long way around the houses, but that is kind of the clue what we're going to do to fix your problem. So for yours, you've got them all on the same thread, but you've got different panes. So you've got different pane IDs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was thinking there is we expand this so we can have a parent thread number, and if you specify one there, it will filter to just that. So i.e., if I was to fix that to say 66, okay, so that's going to only open when its parent is 66, which is not going to happen. Just finish up on the thing here so we can just get people fully understand that filter, if you will. There we go. Open that. We've got no browse at the top because we've opened it, but it's waiting for a parent whose thread number is 66. Then it will jump into life. Okay. So what I'm thinking for yours is, what about, let's get rid of that, doing a parent pane ID, and that way we could say, as long as you're going to have to pass that pane in as a parameter to your whatever you report, if you will. You're using Chart Pro for some of the graphs and so on. Yeah. Well, it's kind of irrelevant. You can use anything. What I'm saying is that procedure, which is doing your graphing and so on and so forth, or the dashboard item, that procedure wants to receive the parameter that we're going to put into a new entry on here. I think you're already doing that. You have something like pane ID. So, yeah, should we have a look at that? I think pane ID is as good as any. Do you pass that in?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Do I? I don't know.
Do you want to quickly check?
Yeah, it's whatever the normal, whatever it normally is, I guess.
Well, you would have. So let's have a look on window. Let's just make sure.
I think, yeah, I do. Actually, I do pass in the pin ID. I remember looking at that. I remember the code. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if we could.
But I remember when we were talking about it. Yeah, we looked at that.
And the reason you're getting them going out of sync, if you will, instead of one opening in 1 and 2 opening in 2, 3 opening in 3, is your different content could take different amount of time to initialize. So the thread manager, right, the window manager, from the docking pane, of course, that window manager has 5 panes defined. All of them are waiting for a particular procedure to open, which you open in quick succession 5 times. But that's really it. So as soon as, because there's no filter, the first one to open is going to go straight through to the first window and say, there you go, I'm available, and it gets docked. Then the second one, which becomes available after it's done, because you probably got your charting in the early on in the window open or window in it, something like that. You present the data, then it tells the window manager you're available. That it goes to the window classic. So now the second one's available. That goes to the second pane, third pane, fourth one, fourth pane, and so on. But because the data content determines how fast each one of those will initialize, is and that's how you get the randomness of the panes moving around.
Yep. Yeah, I am.
Not the panes, but the content moving around, not the panes.
Yeah. It does a docking pane dot set pane child thread number, and then the first parameter is the pane ID. So that's what's being passed over.
You do sorry, let's say you do a what? Sorry, a docking pane.
Set pane child thread number, and the prototype for that is the pane ID, and the thread number, I guess, is being returned.
Ah, okay, start. So yes, basically, here we can see, and this is give you a bit of an insight of what's going on behind the scenes. So as I said, you've got 5 panes, and you're going to call 5 browsers, well, 5 procedures. All of them, of course, in quick succession, all calling the actual same procedure, which is perfectly fine. It's a very efficient way of doing it. But the initialization speed is affecting what goes where. This is what I was saying. What it says is get the thread number. So get the child thread number for that pane. And if it's blank, it means it's not initialized yet. So if it's not initialized, then what it's actually going to do is it's going to set the thread number by doing a start on there. So it says, okay, that particular pane, and that is a start command. So you probably want some parameters here, I should imagine. And one would be whatever ID you're going to pass in, and I suggest the pane ID because that's a filter we're going to add for it.
Yes, I've got that. I'm passing in pane ID. I'm passing in the thread of this window,
Okay.
and then some other values.
Yeah, which is fine. That's your system, your requirements. Right, let's have a quick look here then. Just opening up some things on the other screen in case people wonder what I'm doing, and then we will. New notepad. There you go. Of course, we've got to make sure we don't break anything out there, but by leaving it blank by default, we should be fine. Okay. Right, we're going to do this. Well, first of all, let's prompt for that filter. That's an easy enough one to add. So on our content management, we've got parent thread number. Really? Okay. So, okay. Have it as an optional field. Parent thread number, parent, pane ID. Make sure that's not used anywhere. Okay. So I've setting some properties in the class, so that's what we're going to have to do next. Okay. Nope, not that one. What do I normally have? Pain IDs. Trace 50. That's good. It's really sad, I know, but I'm just going to put them in alphabetical order. Leave them prompt for that. There. Okay, that should prompt, and that should initialize. Just think about the parent procedure actually. But it'll be the same parent procedure for you, so that doesn't really matter. Oh, that's just to do with closing. But ignore that. Okay, so this won't work yet, obviously. We've not done any coding. I just want to see if we can prompt for it. Definitely need a couple with this. Throwing us a curveball on a Monday. Thanks, John.
What's that?
I'm saying, got a strong coffee at the side of me. You're throwing us a curveball on a Monday. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to pass in the. We're going to start putting an example together here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're getting a little delay, by the way, on your screen refresh. It eventually catches up, but...
Oh, sorry. So everything's paused. I'll tell you what we'll do. I don't need Outlook open, so let's close that as well. Okay, so... And even Skype, I'll take everything I can out of off the comms.
I think it's just internet speed.
Well, that's...
We'll see.
I've had the place 15 years, and we used to have broadband fed to the house and so on, but we weren't using it enough, so I had it disconnected, and now we're using it a hell of a lot more. But they can't find me. It's on a little side road called La Molecatière, and you don't have house numbers, so you have to go off the person's name. And I've had it 15 years, and they can't find me, so I can't get connected. I have to go into the actual Mary's office to tell them, you send me a bill every year for my taxes, but you can't find me for a phone line. It's crazy. So, but never mind. I am here. I'm talking to people, but apparently I don't exist. Okay, so we're going to have pane browse 1 and we're going to have pane browse 2. I'm going to try and emulate your thing. I don't know what the sizes are, I'll pinch them in a second off the other one, but they are going to be call a Windows procedure, browse, window browse, that one. Oh, and we want going to open it to the right of browse pane 1. 3580 top. Okay. That's going to give us a couple of panes. That's going to call the same one twice. Let's just see it in action. And I'm going to pass that a parameter in a second, just so we know that 1's always going to 1, 2's going to 2. That makes sense. What have I missed? Parent pane ID. We did parent. Parent pane ID. Docking pane window manager class. Oh. What am I missing? Gotta be something. Absolutely. Oh. Wrong one. Okay, we'll run this. I expect it to just open twice. Oh! That's something I've done.
Oops.
Okay, what I want to put on here is the ID of what's being passed in. So there's our browse one. I'm going to pass that as one of the parameters. There's our browse.
Maybe on on that browse, you should put maybe the thread number or something, so we know that they're two different.
We're going to
So you
pass
know
it.
they're going into the right one, I guess.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to just pass in. We're going to display what's been passed in.
There you go. Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, so we know that what's going to where. And I'm even going to introduce a random time delay so that I can get them to both try and go out of sync.
It looked like you had double quotes or something on that last entry.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
I think so. At the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa doesn't know that one.
I don't know.
I started looking at the API for that so I can play about with Clarion and get programming via Clarion. It's only a little side issue, a little side hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, just something different. I know it's probably already been done, but I haven't done it, so just something to play with.
Dries did a session on it, I think, on CIDC.
I won't actually go and look because, I just want to play myself, to be honest. Sad. Okay, so that obviously it's on a start, so it's going to have to be a string that we get. Oh, it would have to be anyway because we're getting that. Okay, so there's that. Just going to put a little local variable. Okay, and put that local on the screen. I'm going to put it so we can blatantly see it. And just need to get it. Is there a delay command or a wait command or something like that? I'm sure I saw something the other day.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Okay. Anywhere between 1 second and we don't want to be too crazy. 10 seconds. Do you know there was a wait command or a delay or something like that. I won't do it, but it threw me because I was in somebody's system the other day, and I come across a command I've never heard of it. So I looked it up, and it was in the Clarion help. Right, let's take a quick look at this. Can't see it. It's not big enough. Okay. I'm more intrigued in seeing that.
I'm not sure your delay is doing what you think it's doing.
Oh no, of course it wouldn't. No, it's not going to. Oh yeah, well. Okay, pane 1, pane 1, pane 2, and pane 2. 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so happy with that.
That's how it should be.
So, yes. Now we introduce on this the new parameter. So let's just check it's there. It is parent pane ID. Okay. Where the hell is the code for that? Let's have a look at our what we do with that parent thread in here. Okay. Many years since I looked at this. This is going to be really interesting. Window extension. Just a quick look at where that's been initialized. After the init. So that's good. Okay. It comes down to this now. This is where I should imagine it's opening and telling the parent. So window prepare. Attempt to find a valid window manager entry for the current window. So remember me saying about the window manager class and so on and so forth. So if we haven't got a parent thread number, it's just going to go and find it on the child procedure. Now look, child procedure equals what we are. No thread number, no handle. Oh, this gets really interesting now. Window manager class, child window queue. We do have a pane ID on there. Yep. Okay. Kind of hoping this is nice and simple.
Me too.
Okay. Feel free to anybody to jump in if I'm wrong on this. So that's how we currently had it, because I don't want to break anything for obvious reasons. So if we previously wasn't bothered about the parent thread number, so we're not going to filter, we're just going to say okay, go and find it using those parameters. But if we did, I'm going to put an else if here now, but if we did, then we want to find it on those parameters.
Right.
I'm just thinking what goes into the pane. What goes into the pane ID? Sorry, it won't be a second. No. That will return back what the pane ID is. I need to know where that's populated in the first place. No. Window manager class add child window. Brilliant. Yeah. No, wrong one. Yeah. Yeah, they should have the pane in there. Right, okay. Okay, so if just make sure I've got all these. Let's do that. That would be the code. Do you know we could? That ought to be our first if, actually, thinking about it. We just start doing some of that just to make sure. It, oh, the pane. Does it go in as uppercase? Don't think it does. But we better check that. And then I think what we can get away with then is just that as an else. Kind of makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so to keep it backwards compatible, make sure I don't break anything. If you have passed in a thread, but not a parent thread, but not a parent pane, we're just going to set that, and we're going to do a get on those elements. If you haven't passed in parent thread, but you have passed in the parent ID, then we're going to prime up that, and we're going to do a get on those elements. And else, which means both of those are going to be blank, then just get it on the straightforward child, which is Lucky Dip viewer, first one to be declared, which hasn't got a thread number, or it hasn't got a window handle assigned to it. Do you know what, John? I think that is it. I think that's your change. Sorry. Bit trigger happy there. What I should really do is we should look within this class here. All mentions of the window extension, we're doing it, yeah, for all mentions of parent thread.
You must spell thread.
Yeah. So we clear it on it, that's fine. What is that doing? Update document queue. Yep, that's fine. Set that. Notifying that back. I see, that's the the parameters won't go back up. Yep, that's fine. That. Just use there. Set. Hang on a second. Not an else, it's just an else. Back up to the window manager. Of course, this happened to be doing it all the time here. Let's get a proper delay in there. Delay start. Okay, that should do it. Just a.
Yep, that looks better.
Okay. Remember, we've not put the filter on there yet, so I'm hoping we see something go wrong. What have I missed? Oh yeah, closing of the bracket. So kind of run this a few times. I kind of want it to fail, obviously.
Yeah, I want to see a 2 and a 1 instead of a 1 and a 2.
I suppose the ultimate thing would be, I can just rig it to say, if you're paying 1, give you 1 second. If you're paying 2, or if you're paying 1, give you 10-second delay. If you're paying 2, give it a 1-second delay. Because they're both going to be up told to open. So let's actually rig that, because we could be here forever and a day waiting for those. You remember what the panes are called? I can't remember what they're called. Okay, so if it's pane 1, I'm going to want it a 5-second delay. If it's pane 2, I only want it, otherwise there's a 1-second delay. Okay.
Okay.
And I would hope 2 would go to 1 and 1 would go to 2. What?
Well, it should have. It didn't seem like there was a delay, was there? They just both showed up.
Yeah. They're both getting. They're both getting quite a delay actually. I would expect one to be opening straight away.
I think they both seem to have the same delay. Huh?
Okay, the pane ID, P pane ID is 1, I want it to be a 5-second delay. And put the parameter in other. No. Wonder it's how they no. Well, we can still prove it because what I can say here is we'll put our new pane in. Oh, what was our delay called? Sorry, our delay, our thing called pane valves 1. And instead of using the parameter what's coming in, I'm going to hard code it to say I want you to only work if it's pane valves 1. And you don't get no 2. So, okay.
Okay.
And likewise, let's read that. So we've got a 2. Delay while it's attempted number 1. Won't find it, but still starts it, of course. And then, oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, that's right, of course. I should think then. But yeah, because that is wanting, it started to grab the first occurrence, and it has grabbed the first occurrence.
Cool.
So yeah, that should work for you. Let me quickly, very quickly, update my number here.
So the second issue.
Okay. Sounds ominous.
So your demo thing there.
Go on, I'm listening.
If you ran it twice and then tried to close one of the panes, then the other one wouldn't close. At least on mine. If you remember, I have like that container thing, right? Which is the same as if you, I think, as if you were to run that same example twice.
Oh, okay.
And then tried to close one of them.
Just 1 second.
Assuming you're starting them off the buttons. If you're starting it off the button, I guess.
Pane. Optional pane.
So that'll be cool.
Okay, say that again then. So I've got my example.
You got your example that we've been looking at, right?
Yep.
So if you run it twice. What's that?
Shall I take that off or just leave it running as is?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Just leave it on. Just leave it on. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think that's a problem.
Yep, fire away then.
But so when you click the button that runs that, is it starting it or is it
starting
running it? Okay, so run the same thing twice off of the example. The same window with those two browsers on it. Run them twice.
Now? Or do you want me to close that?
Wait for it to catch up. No, leave that open and then run it again. So you get two of them up. Okay, now on mine, if I try to close one, it doesn't close. It stays open until the other one is closed.
Nice. So you close that one.
Yeah.
That's right. And then...
But see, it doesn't close. And then you have to close that one, and then the other one will close.
That's right. I do remember.
There you go. That's easily reproduced.
Yeah. Reproduced, yes. Okay. Okay, that's going to be how it's doing it. It's checking its close if it's allowed to.
It comes down. Yes, there's a close window check, exactly. And it's somehow finding the other one.
I told that you can't. You can, and just if you do, yeah, put that, close that, as you say. So it's definitely something different going on there. Watch the content on the second. That's it. That's initialized, yeah. Closed, nothing. Oh, close once. Close again, no.
So you can't close it. Because it's always doing that check, and it's finding the other one. For whatever reason. Because naming, I guess.
Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Choking myself. Right. Check close window. I wonder who it's that. You definitely know how to throw the curveball, John. I'll give you that.
I was just start doing stuff.
Right, okay, let's have a look at that. No, that one's right, debug. Okay, one open. I'm gonna take a quick look at the debug in a second, but okay, so what have we got so far? It's going to be the code in here. Fairly convinced. On that check close. Oh, crikey. Oh, wow, okay. So on yours, John, you've got...
Mm-hmm.
Is that the equivalent, that open there, of your dashboard? This window here is the equivalent of dashboard?
Yeah.
As in, it's got the child panes on there.
Mhm.
So you're opening the dashboard twice as well. So not only can the one
Right.
dashboard be open with the same procedure opened 5 times, 6 times, whatever, several times in different panes, but you can have multiple dashboards open at the same time as well.
Yes.
It's truth. Okay. Yeah, which is what we've got here. So that is the equivalent of, so whatever that procedure name is, probably, we'll see it in a minute. Yeah, so that has now got, that's a parent window, and these are the child, so you've got that running, pane browse 1, running with that as a parent, but you've also got pane browse 1 running as that as a parent there. So you've got 2 instances running. And that'll be the code there. So it's a parent procedure. Us is the thread number set to, so is it running, and it's a handle. Okay, so I wonder if it's just a case of, is the parent number is the window manager queue. Parent procedure, parent thread. So, is that equal to that? Hmm. I never use that. I think so. Okay. Do. Start getting too many, it's just easier to pad them out so I can see, so I can read.
OCX thread on this. I don't know what line number it is. Down one line. OCX thread.
Where are you looking,
Toward
sorry?
the end. Toward the end of that line that you're on, OCX thread. It says THREA and there's not a D on the end of it. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay.
Don't even know if this is the thing, but we'll have a look. So, loop through. There's no error, and the parent procedure is the procedure we're in, and the parent thread number is the thread that the OCX is running on, which initiated it in the first place, and the thread of that window manager entry is currently set, and the handle's currently set. Then you found. Close that. Close that. That better?
Yes, that's better. Look at that.
Okay, so close. 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 Oh. Just go one step further. I wonder if that ever bit us in the past. I was debugging one or something like that a long time ago, where the app wouldn't close down. But a long time ago, as in 3-4 years ago. Never found it. I thought I had, but yeah, but close it at that level now, and it should just go off and do them like a tree, if you will. So, dink, yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Bug fix. Bug fix. Close. Close child window issue. Corrected. Bit vague. I'll know. I'll type that up before we get the release. But yes. Okay. Wow. Made some progress there. Two nice fixes, if I say something.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Well, actually, no.
I like it.
Not a fix. One fix. One enhancement.
One enhancement.
These are filters. In fact, I don't know if I should really put them in a group and say filters. So, I don't know if people actually realise what that they are filters without attending one of these. Okay, well, I can tidy the template up accordingly in days to come. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I took the filter off, by the way. Actually, what the filter should be is that they're passed in. That's what we need to check there.
Yeah.
Close that one, close that one, close that one. And the last test should be P-Pain ID. Parent fed number. Parent fed. Can be an optional field. Just want to make sure it's set by that stage. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it's set. It should be, yeah, cool. Last test, and that's done. Pains 1 and 2 gone accordingly. They were kind of doing, but we've proven that they will go to their relevant places. Pains 1 and 2. Close that child. Close that child. Yeah. Yeah, happy with that. Obviously, I'll pass you a beta so you can test it in yours, but that should be a little enhancement now.
Excellent. Thank you.
No
That'll
problem.
get me going on that again.
So,
Two more things.
Yep.
Just what you thought you could leave. Just 2 more things. Right. One came up this morning, and we have a customer they use terminal services, and we just put out a build, and they ran the app, and it has a little launcher program, which is just a small exe, and the small exe checks to make sure all the ActiveX controls are registered. And so it creates objects out of each of them. Remember that? Yeah. It creates objects out of all of them, and then it launches the main program. And this is working fine. I mean, it's working fine on my system and everywhere. So they ran it on their system, and it comes back. It's crashing after it's doing all those checks. And it's just it's not a GPF. It's just Windows has terminated the program type of thing. And so we ran it on their server, and it's okay. But when they ran it under terminal services, it crashes. And so I was trying to narrow down where the problem was. And so I took out all the checks where it, I went through and narrowed down.
Or just
No, they were having trouble with Reg3Com. So I'm just actually at this point, all I'm doing. They're doing something. There's something with network tries. I might put Mary on for a second.
Okay.
In fact, because she's been working with this too. Open it for my blah blah. Okay. Anyway, when it's doing the check, all it's doing is creating an object. That's all it's doing.
Yeah.
Just creates it. If it creates it okay, then it moves on, right? So all the objects are created fine. And it was after all the objects were created, when it was leaving the program, is when it was giving the error. Like leaving, like everything was done.
Yeah.
All the kills,
so
and all the way done.
Is it on the kill or is
leaving
it on the deactivate?
that exe that was the program was.
Right. I'm just wondering.
It's I guess so.
So if we have a look,
I don't know. I mean, it closes the window fine. It closes the window fine, but it's the entire exe is when it crashes, not when it's leaving the window. When it leaves the window, I would guess it would be doing all the
see what
killing or whatever. Anyway, it turned out that all the things are fine except the ChillCat one. It's the ChillCat one that's causing the problem.
Right. So
Yeah. So
I was just going to say, I don't think I use it on. I can try it here now then. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's try it.
It'll probably work okay on here.
I won't use Registry Com on it.
I don't know.
So let me just try the ChillCat example. Choose Registry Com. Is the control registered, or is it registering it in that session?
It is registered. It gets an object, so it's already registered. It's all fine. It comes up okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do here,
nothing's trying to be registered. It's only making objects.
So I'm going to put that to registered.
And I put a
don't register.
like I have a check. If it gets an object ID. Yeah, I've got mine set so it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Before we run that, actually, I will just move some stuff out of that folder.
I think what it does, I think it creates a control, ActiveX control. It checks the, see what it does. Here it is. Yeah, here's what my check does. It opens a window. It hides the window so we don't see it. It creates an OLE control. Then it creates the object. It checks to make sure it's got an object. If that's okay, then it deactivates the control. It closes the window.
The object,
it goes back and says,
when
that was fine, do the next one.
When you're taking the object, do you put it into a variable? Whether you're wondering whether you've got a proc release in there.
I do. But it's only the ChillCat ones that's causing this issue. And only with terminal services, which makes no sense.
See, I don't use anything but Registry Com now. In all of them.
Yeah, and that's what I was switching over to, but this installation had problems with it. It wouldn't show up on them. I don't know if there's something.
Sounds like something in there, but let's just take a look. Right, don't want the control to be in that folder, so just going to create a AGW temp, which is that ChillCat control. There you go, there's a copy of one. Let's move those out. Okay. So the DLL isn't in there. It's registered somewhere within Windows, but it isn't in there. Manifest. Just want to check the manifest is all fine.
If I have ChillCat, I have multi-DLL, right? This is our next project to finish up, Andy.
Yes.
Multi-DLL. But, okay, so if I'm using ChillCat in DLL 1 and 3, right? And then I've got my EXE. Do I just have to do the reg-free in the EXE? Or do I have to do it in each of the DLLs?
Just the EXE.
Just the EXE, okay.
Because that's talking to the global class. So, and to prove that, let's just date and time, something like that. Where's date and time? There you go. Give me a timestamp. Add 1 hour to it. There you go. So we're talking to ChillCat. And then I close the app. It's going to be how long is a piece of string on this, because you say it's working normally, it's just on the terminal services. Yeah, in a multi-DLL, the reg-free comment only ever goes on the exe. You don't need any of those settings in manifest. You don't need to create any manifest for your DLLs.
Okay. So it doesn't matter what the setting is on the other DLLs.
No, I mean it might be doing the modifying that if it's told to do so, but you don't need to because it's only the one on the exe where it would actually take an effect.
Okay. Well, let's not spend a lot of time on this because I think what I'll do is just take the checkout for the Chillcat and put it as reg-free on the main exe and see how that works.
That I know works because on terminal services because there's a couple of users use it on terminal services because they were using Chillcat to do some of the background work and then presenting data on. Oh no, was it on terminal services? Was it on NetTalk? I can't remember. I think it might have been a NetTalk web server.
I'm not even sure terminals. I'm not sure terminal services is the thing. That might be a red herring, just because it's different.
If you want to send me the little exe and see, I'll try it here on a couple of machines for you if you like.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't crash for me or any other place. And actually, we've got it out. A lot of places run this. It's just this one place. I think it's got to be environmental. There's something going on.
I can. There's a particular big system which I do quite a bit of work on, and that uses the Chillcat both in running as a service. Because it has a background task which gets a lot of work, a lot of comms work in this background service, and that's run some are run every 5 minutes, some are run every 1 minute to do with emails and so on. So there's a lot of comms traffic going by Chillcat, and then services just run. In fact, hang on, all the accounting stuff goes that way too. Just 1 second, sorry. You'll need the card. Sorry about that. Yes, basically, there's a lot of traffic. All the accounting stuff goes via that, and that is literally every minute or so. And they've been running I've tried them for 5-6 days consecutively, and so on. So I really don't have an issue. I think it's one of the most stablest I've ever used. But why it's on that particular system, I don't know. But I'm happy if you want on a joint session, I'll log in with you. Maybe see your screen if you log in, and we'll just do some debug that way. I think you're probably causing yourself work there if you want the truth, because I would just use the reg-free comp. But if you want to get a definitive answer on that, I'm happy to lend a hand and take a look together.
Yeah. Well, let me try it first with the reg-free, and I'll take the checkout in the launcher program, and if that all works, then that's fine.
You need your licensing wherever it's used, obviously. You want the reg-free comp.
Right.
You want the register to be reg-free comp on the main exe, and obviously you want the manifest. Right. There's 2 manifest files then what created. One, let's just put this back. So put those back. Yep, thank you very much. Get rid of that. Change this back to reg-free comp. I've got the license compiled in. So use reg-free comp using a particular build 72. That's fine. Do a compile. Go back to that folder. Okay, and then you would expect in here, that's just do a clean up so it makes the folder a bit smaller. You've got the exe and you've got the manifest for the exe, which would show an extra dependency in there of the Chillcat build 72, and then to go hand in hand with that, I think okay. And to go hand in hand with that, you would have your chilcat control, and the chilcat control would also get a manifest, which is all the content in the manifest.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I'll try that. We'll see if that all works for me. If it doesn't, that's just what I'll do. Because I did distribute with Reg Free, but these same people said they couldn't run it. So I think it's something, like I said, something in their environment that's causing the issue.
Been, since XP.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It should be working.
Interesting.
Right. Well, let me play with it a little bit more, and then if I need more help, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Then I have one more. Okay.
Make sure you got the right chilcat and all, by the way. Like, see there, that's a 76. Make sure you got 72, or you've got you specified the matching one.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did. I'm good. I don't think I've updated it since I got it.
Okay.
132. Yeah, that's the one I got. Yeah,
okay.
That's the one. That is the one. Okay, so the last one is command bars. So I just sent you 3 GPF reports in the Skype, and they're all the same. And here's what happens: is it's randomly. Like I'll be running the program maybe 20, 30 times a day, right? Doing testing, and maybe once every 15 times. I'll get a GPF when I launch, and it's always the same GPF, and it's always on command bars. And then the other issue, and I sent you pictures of it, is that the ribbon bar will get messed up. Like one of the buttons is supposed to be skinny, all of a sudden is large. It's like it's the wrong size. So there's something going on. Maybe you can check out some of the GPS, but there's something going on when it's setting the properties.
The IDs, every control should have its own unique ID. Now, if you've got controls getting being manipulated differently, it does sound like IDs. The IDs are getting screwed up.
Oh yeah, could be. I mean, it works fine like 9 out of 10 times, but the 10th time, one of the buttons is wrong, or there might be buttons missing, or I get this GPF. It's not always GPFing in the same spot.
I'm just trying to open. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've got such a delay. Okay, so here's the access violation. Yeah.
Yeah, something's going on in the set properties, it seems, but from there, I don't know where to go. So that when I was setting a property, it's coming out of my security check routine.
Okay.
So that means it was either hiding the button or it was showing the button.
Boom. Free. Oh. It's a straightforward set property there, as you said. Which in turn will go to common set property. Then it's back to yours, and then it's in the OLE.
I mean, I'd be happier if it did it every time, but
yes,
it doesn't
hell of a lot
every time.
Track.
Yeah, we've had a few end users report the same thing. That it's not just on my computer. At first I thought it was a 18.4, but I switched to 17.3 and it's the same issue, so it's not the ActiveX control.
I know of apps which I've been working on. They're even using as old as 15.3.1. So the one I use at the moment is the latest 18.6. I don't know what to suggest on that. I saw the images about, like you say, the one time you open it and it can look in one style, and then you open it again and it looks in a completely different style. From that point of view, see, when we call something, let me just close that log, because it's not really going to tell us anymore. You want to set a control property. Okay, so that's what we're calling here. And what it's going to do is go to its own queue of controls, have a look at what you've told it, and I'm going to work out what the object is of that one control. I wonder. Control, that's what I'm looking for. A bar of controller group, yeah. I'm sure they are, but will you check that all your controls definitely have a unique ID, even spread across different parentages, so a group and a bar and a tab and so on and so forth, those types of things. You don't use quick access, do you?
I do. They do have different IDs on them.
But do they get the ability to add their own quick access?
No.
Okay.
No, they're pretty much just there.
I thought, I do put some special commands in here, but I thought I put a tag on there, I'll be honest. Kind of hoping I did. All I'm thinking there is whether I could get the ID for you a different way and give you, like a hybrid to it. No, top. Yeah, we don't. They don't have a tag, so if they don't have that, I can't do it that way. That's a shame. Really is a shame. I don't know what to suggest on that one, John. It's going to be.
I don't know. It's just, I think it's some kind of timing thing. I mean, it's a legacy thing, so I think legacy has more problems than EBC with the controls.
Well, the only one thing you've got, I know you've had differences in the past on that as well. The only one common fact you've got going between docking panes or property grid or command bar and so on is the legacy OLE container. That really wouldn't surprise me if it's not. I'm not saying it don't work, because it does, and I use it in a particular application which I inherited, but it really wouldn't surprise me if it's not as robust as the ABC equivalent. Technically they should be the same, but it really wouldn't surprise me if they weren't. So all I can do there is add some more. I could add some trace to it to try and help on the debug. Maybe on the adding and so on and so forth. Add some debug commands so you can know when you start the system up, are all the IDs unique? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can add some debug there for you on the add control. See if that helps. Maybe put this on be on some other switches so they're off by default, and then you turn them on when required. But I can add some debug for that. Likewise on the setting of the properties, but it will slow things down a little if it's on, because you'd expect it to. But it'll be
right. But I could just run it for myself. Sure, yeah, I could just run that for myself. So
yeah, because it's going to be. I was really suggested let's get some stuff in there and see if it's one particular thing which is always if you do it fails once every 15 times, then if you try it 45 times, then in theory we should get 3 of them. Is there any pattern to those 3? Bit of a
right.
shot in the dark, but really it's a starting point. That's all I can really suggest.
Okay. Yeah, let's, if you don't mind, throw a few things in there. And
yeah, I can put some debug into.
When it happens, it's a clear GPF, so I can look right at the debug and see.
Well, with all the debug there, and it had gone via set property. So it had gone via. I've just closed it, but yeah, it had gone via set property, set control property of the command bar class, which in turn calls common class set property, which in turn calls OCX direct command.
Right.
Just out of interest, shouldn't make any difference. What you could try is get control object, because you'll need this. That's why I was wondering about the tags before, but it won't do any good. Okay, so you could do get control object, have it as a local variable, cstring 20. Okay, you'd want something along the lines of, if you had a thing of set control property, yeah? Is that what you're calling, something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Maybe you call it something like that. So set control property, the control ABC, visible and false. So something like LB object, which is a cstring 20, equals, and it wants to be the command bar class, obviously. Get control obj ABC, and then it wants to be command. No, that's way. OCX direct command LB obj dot visible comma false. So the thing above would really come out as that. So I don't know if that where you're doing this particular security, if you could do it that way. Still not the nicest, but whether you did it that way.
Instead of set control priority, do it the other way.
Yeah, well, just is it one particular? Mind you, no. Let's get the debug in there first, because I'm going to say, is it one particular control? But until we've got the debug, you're not going to know that. You really are going to be shooting in the dark.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Is there any grouping of any controls that you're doing, or are they just individual controls that you need to change and hide and so on and so forth, that kind of thing?
I think it's just kind of individual things. Depends on their security settings, whether they can create an invoice or go into the customer list or things like that.
Yeah.
So we just hide the buttons that they can't see. It also happens though when I'm creating them too. They're setting properties there as well, so I need to maybe I'll see what properties they're setting. Maybe there's a pattern there or something.
Okay, as I say, I'll put the extra. Where are we? Come on, bar. I'll put some extra debug in here. What's in there at the moment? So the construction has it. Synchronizing the height. Oh, crikey, that's all. There's not much in there at all. So yeah, I can put some in there for the. They'll want to go on their own switches because otherwise you really wouldn't see the wood for the trees. But I can put some in there to say, okay, include add control, include set control property, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All I can say is let's do that, and then we can take it from there. Report back.
Right.
I can get you.
That's good.
Drop me a message tomorrow. I will send you the beta of that docking pane from today.
Okay.
In fact, I can give it just them 5 files. I'll zip them up straight after this and whack them across on Skype. But then I will send me a message tomorrow, and I'll send you an updated docking pane class with the debug in there and the switches.
Excellent. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Now we've just got Bill is asking for a status update on both G security and the report control update, and neither of which have both of which have been worked on. Don't worry about that. But neither of which have been released yet. I know I said there would be. There was no webinar last week. I think Bill said he's not been here for a couple of weeks. There was nowhere because it was a public holiday in the UK. So there was no webinar last week, but equally there's not been any updates. The releases are close. Genuinely they are close, but they're not released yet. I will let you know via a Skype or email and so on as soon as they are. And likewise, Michael's just asked about his email now. I've not got the email open because we were low on bandwidth before. But I know he has asked in the past regarding things to do with calendar and opening and closing files and basically zipping up of data and so on. And some general calendar, not problems, but just implementation questions, if you will, within his own application. So how about we cover that first next Monday? So we'll actually go through yours. Hold on. Well, Bill's just put something about. Bill's just typing, so I will just open the mic up in a second. So yeah, in fact I'll open Michael's as well. So you've been kind enough to wait all this time. So Michael and Bill, both microphones are open. Michael first. Michael, we will cover the content of your email next Monday. I think they are just generalised questions. I know you want to be able to have your data tables open because you've got reminders on the application frame, but at the same time you need to have them closed so you can perform a zip, that type of thing. So we'll have to come up with some kind of mechanism where you're either opening and closing your tables, or you're calling a particular load in a source code, loading the events in the source code. But we can take a look at that. Let's take a look at your questions during Monday's webinar. You can blame John for taking up all the time today, but it's been worth it. To be fair, we've got an enhancement and a fix out of today's webinar, so that's not bad. And Bill, your microphone's open. You got a question for John on the RDP problem.
Yeah, hey, John,
Yes.
I've been running into a problem recently where I've got one client that's on an Azure server with and they're running Windows 2008 Server RDP, and we're getting. I can't even run like prop printer colon printer, and change the device settings without having to go back manually. And my only question was maybe on your customer, is he running it on some kind of a cloud server?
Oh, no, it's on their own.
That is okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was just a suggestion, because this was something real odd that I noticed. And it seems to be a timing issue, where it's because I've got the same program running on local networks and on RDP, and I can always switch printers around and all that stuff, and without any problems. And
It's not something like I don't know. Well, I was going to say where it's a failover server, so you're connected to one, but if there's any kind of issues, you're actually automatically connected to a backup one, and then settings just haven't been done in that session on the backup server. So it's a failover type, a failsafe, if you will. Just wondering, bit of a long shot to be fair. But I've seen things like that for web servers.
I can make it work if I go back and use an API call and change the default printer over to the printer I want to use, and then immediately change back to the original default printer, kind of like prop printer, except for I'm doing it using the default, and that seems to work, but. It's kind of a backdoor way around doing something that should be real simple. But anyway, I just thought I'd ask in case John was having that same issue.
I can't say I have really much experience. I'm probably the worst person to ask on that, but I don't know, John, have you got much experience of that, or you've had those issues?
No. Nope.
That's the only one I've got on Azure. I've got a couple on the AWS clients, and they seem to work fine.
No.
It's interesting because one of
over.
This might be going to the schedule it application. Wrong one. But the one I was developing earlier, that's scheduled to go on Azure. So. I shall keep you posted when it does. It's not quite yet. It's going to be a few weeks, but that's scheduled to go and be released via that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I better keep an eye on things like that, and I'll report back if I see any funnies.
Cool.
Okay, well, we are totally over time, but that's okay because we didn't have one last week, so that's fine. So Michael's list is calendar type questions at the start of next week's. John, I will quickly zip those 5 files up to you and swap them across on Skype, and then email me tomorrow for the command bar class. There'll be some properties basically to do with the debug. So the pertinent things, the add and the set of the properties. I think those two to start with. And let's take it from there and see if we can see any patterns.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy, for
sounds a bit vague, but
getting all my stuff going.
I was going to say it sounds a bit vague, but it's about all I can think of as a starting point, and just basically dig and take it from there, if you want the truth.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for sticking around, and until next week, I'll speak to you all. I'll see you all then. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.